today, existing home sales taking a little bit of a dive. Take a look, down 6.1% to just under 5 million. It could be another case of bad news is good news, though, because this report unlikely to push the Fed towards an early hike in interest rates, some are saying, and that makes markets happy. So what is the outlook for housing in 2015?
Shari Olefson is a real estate lawyer, founder of the Carnegie Group, a Florida think tank, and Fred Glick is a real estate broker and realtor, CEO of Arriva and U.S. Spaces. Fred, I was just looking at the notes here. You say 2015 could be one of the greatest years of real estate if and only if oil prices stay low. That low interest rates haven't done it all these years. It's going to take low oil prices to make better real estate?
Nope. As I've been saying for years, Bill, it's all about jobs and confidence. So now what you have is a situation where we're going to keep these low interest rates for a long time. Price of oil has come down. People have a few more bucks in their pocket that they're starting to spend. They're happy about spending it. So now they get a little more confident. Now a few more people get employed. This is all going to turn around to a happiness, and I call it the axis of housing happiness, in that you have jobs, you have low oil prices, and you have low interest rates. So people are now going to be happy to just sit around and let me stay here. This is great. I love it here.
Trying to picture a three-axis, three-dimensional. Shari, what's your outlook for housing in 2015?
2015 is going to be a great year for housing, Kelly, and part of the reason is, we got a slow start in 14. We're ending not so great, but what happened in between was pushing us in the right direction in terms of sales and prices. We're going to see the same thing in 2015. We will end up in 2016 with 5.5 million in home sales versus the 5 million we saw this year. A biggie is going to be the fact that all of those folks who are still struggling with foreclosures and negative equity will get past that this year. So this year will actually be the first year that the whole nation has actually recovered. And it's going to be driven by a bunch of people on that happy access. We're going to have first-time buyers who I think will exceed their 40% historic average in terms of participation. We're going to have boomers who, just because of their sheer numbers, will have a big impact on housing, especially in those regions where they want to retire to. And of course, we're going to have those boomerang buyers who now have sat out the mandatory waiting period and can get back into housing. So housing is going to be, we're going to see really nice things in 2015.
So everybody loves the real estate market for 2015, and here comes the Federal Reserve. Fred, they're going to raise interest rates maybe as early as April if we believe the tea leaves that Janet Yellen was spreading out on last Wednesday.
No way.
That takes away one of your triangle there.
Yeah, no way. And even if they do for 1 second, people are going to ignore it. Now, remember, let's go back.
Bill, too, is people need a place to live. So the alternative is to rent, and we know rents are going up even faster than interest rates. And we still have the mortgage interest deduction. So rates are not going to be a big obstacle.
And Fannie and FHA has made it easier for first-time buyers to get in. There's 100% gifts now allowed on 5% down conventional loans. I don't ever remember that in the history of Fannie Mae, of them doing that. That's fantastic. That's going to open up so many more people to get in and get mortgages now.
Fred, how did you feel about housing in 2006?
2006 was I remember. I always said to people, I asked people, what was your house worth in 2005? I said, that's basically what it's going to be worth after the 2008 crash. 2006 was the beginning. It was the beginning of the end. It was just like, here's all these stupid loans and like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. So something's got to happen.
We're not going to see a repeat of that, Kelly, though, because the real issue is that investors and originators haven't yet figured out this new market. We've got new products. We've got the safe harbor QM loans. We've got the rebuttable presumption QM loans. We've got non-QM loans. And the investors and originators still, the origination costs are very high on those still. The products are limited, the products they can offer, and the costs that they can actually charge customers are limited. So they haven't come anywhere near close to assessing and pricing the risk, and we don't have to worry about another subprime bubble until investors and originators figure out how to make as much money off of these loans as they did in 2004 and 2005, and that's years off.
Sure, nobody's not going to take a mortgage because they're not going to make money. Somebody's going to do it. So that's why I'm not worried about that. There are, on the mortgage banking side, it's a nightmare with the CFPB, but it's going to be better.
We may see rates impacting builders, but this is the year of the home builder.
We will see. Thank you both. Good to see you. Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
I sense that we're both skeptical. I think it'll be a pleasant surprise if housing does pick up as they suggest in 2015.